Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on what time you're watching this. My name's Connor from 905 Review. You'll see we got a brand spanking new mic cover, and as a bonus, it smells like vinegar. Just kidding, that's no bonus at all. You're joining us for our series Give This a Spin, where I recommend you some of my favorite albums. Today we are with Pottery, who welcome us to Bobby's Motel. This is ugly, dude. It just looks like a big old mushroom. Pottery is a band that was formed in Montreal only roughly 6 years ago, who play indie rock, or more nerdily accurate, dance punk, a subgenre that has the energy and harsh sound that was commonplace in punk genres, while also having an upbeat, danceable rhythm. This has drawn Pottery comparisons to the likes of Devo or Gang of Four. They released the single Hank Williams in 2018, followed by an EP in 2019, and then this debut album in 2020. So let's check them out. A furious drum intro kicks off the self-titled opening track, which sounds almost reminiscent of an old surfer rock type song if it were dragged through hell. Even still, it manages to lighten up before long, and once those spooky, distorted vocals are dropped, they utilize its brighter sound, even prompting a steady groove. A bizarre tune, sure, but these 2 minutes definitely prepare you for what is to come. Slowing things down next is Hot Heater, and I very quickly get Talking Heads vibes from this. There isn't nearly as much going on here, but even still, what a banger tune this is. Things get busier as the funk increases in the chorus, wherein Pottery warn you you're on a hot heater. And keeping the fun flowing from here is Under the Wires. It looks like life out touring on the road is starting to get to the band, but they worry not, as they just jam their way through it. In fact, the second half of the song is just Pottery doing their own thing, rocking out. Additionally, this just kind of sounds like a bad Yelp review in song format. Hopefully not for Bobby's Motel if that's where we're staying. Speaking of, our next program is Bobby's Forecast. And man, imagine if every weather report sounded this fucking cool. This tune is too funky for its own good. Roughly halfway through, they changed this sound up for a different and yet just as funky portion before eventually getting back to the original sound. And frontman Austin Boylan is feeling the song so much, he just needs more and more drums, to the point he tells the drummer he better be breaking his arm playing over there. And despite what a ride it's been so far, things aren't always peachy all the time, because now we're down in the dumps. They started with some pretty ominous sound before breaking out into the real thing. And I don't know if Financial Struggle has ever sounded this catchy.
I'm working for the company. How high's that salary? Don't call that number when nobody's looking.
And continuing right out of this is the 6th track, Reflections. It's led by a nice, steady bass line alongside a calming synthesizer. This has just got such a nice slow groove. It's certainly one to just chill out to, aside from the occasional intimidating jam. And starting the second side of the record, we have Texas Drums, Parts 1 and 2. This real funky number is just a shout out track for all our awesome drummer friends out there. And with all the big vocals where everybody's involved, I can only imagine what a hoot participating in this at a live show would be like. This all especially hits a high point with its climactic ending. After this is the somewhat eerie start to NY In, which eventually breaks out into a quicker paced ruckus. It's likely another one based on the band's time out on the road, where it sounds like they stayed in some real bummy inn in New York, comparing the stay to a prison sentence. And after this, the fellas ask your advice. What's in fashion? And it seems like what's in fashion is you doing you. However you feel, whatever makes you happy, because you know what? Regardless of how you look, odds are somebody's gonna have a bone to pick with it anyways. All this over a zany, somewhat goofy beat.
Kill your hair, public reaction meets you there.
One of the comments on the band's YouTube upload of this song was a dude saying that this is the Beatles in 2020, and my initial thought was, brother, what the hell are you talking about? But then once it got to the chorus, okay, I kind of see where he's coming from.
What's in your mind? I can't remember. What's in your mind?
After this is Take Your Time, which starts kind of fun, but then the guitars come in with this bit of a darker mood to them. It's an ominous, solid, rocking tune about doing drugs, but also warning you to be safe about it. Don't go ruining your life over a couple hours of fun.
When you lost some possessions, no mind. Flicking your skin, loaded up in.
If you're going to do drugs, be responsible and take your time.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
And we say goodbye to Bobby's Motel with Hot Like Jungle. It feels like we're finally cruising on back home and into the arms of our lover.
These days just bleed a got a rip in my jeans. My time's coming.
Just a nice, smooth, lovely song. Funny enough, it's written for the girlfriend of drummer Paul Jacobs, but in a Bruce Springsteen parody kind of way.
I said, ooh, that's nice. Ooh, that's nice. Hot like jungle.
Welcome to Bobby's Motel is available on CD or vinyl, the latter of which coming in the standard black, hot dog yellow, or red like your boy here's got. The album was generally well received, and I'm honestly pretty surprised at how many reviews of it exist considering what an underground release it was. The coolest thing is Pottery's first big break came when guitarist Jake Shapansky was chilling at a bar, and he overheard some guy saying his company had just booked Parquet Courts to play a gig, and excited at the opportunity, Shapansky instinctively just offered to open for them for free. One could assume Pottery is Canadian just by how much they thank you for checking out the album on its artwork, which is also pretty freaky, by the way. In fact, this Bobby character was born out of a mushroom trip between band members in which they did a face-swapped picture with each other and thought it was hilarious. I wonder, Bobby, could we pull this off, or would that be too meta? And to go a little bit deeper into the lore here he is saying, yeah, it might not be much, but it's home. And you know what? That's the same way the band thinks of their music. Sure, it might not be the greatest thing out there, but this is these guys giving you all that they've got and doing what they love. And that really just adds to the authentic feeling of the album. You really get this sense that it's just this group of guys being themselves, putting themselves out there. I'm going to be stamping Welcome to Bobby's Motel with a B+ grading. It's pretty reminiscent of those great artsy acts of the 70s, and I'm glad I just happened to discover this while browsing Bandcamp. I've also linked below an article from NME, which was pretty helpful in writing up this review on them. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciated having you. Until next time. But real quick before we take off, what were your thoughts on Pottery and this album? Did I rate it too high? Did I rate it too low? Let me know down below, as well as any other comments you might have. Recommendations are always welcome. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.